In this video, we'll be going over the one thing that causes a lot of neck and back pain in office workers. And the crazy thing is that not many people know about it, but luckily for you, we're going to talk about it in this whole video. So the one thing that causes a lot of neck and back pain in office workers is something called cross syndrome. In this video, we'll be going over what cross syndrome is, how it happens, and what you can do to fix it. So let's get started. So cross syndrome. What is it actually? So cross syndrome is technically it's a muscle imbalance in the body that happens when you're sitting for prolonged periods of time. And there are actually two types of cross syndromes. There's an upper cross syndrome and a lower cross syndrome. The upper cross syndrome, it affects your neck, your upper back, and your chest. And your lower cross syndrome affects your core, your hips, and your legs. So now that we got that out of the way, let's take a look at a diagram of upper and lower cross syndrome. So let's start off with the upper cross syndrome first. So if you take a look at our guy here, upper cross syndrome means that you're going to have a tight upper trap and tight levator scapula. So basically the shoulder muscles. And when you're sitting down, you've probably noticed poor posture and that your shoulders are hiked up to your ears. That is because of the shortened and overactive upper traps and levator scap. And on the other side in the front, you're going to have tight pecs. So the pecs are your chest muscles. And when you're sitting for prolonged periods of time, again, your shoulders are going to collapse forward. That's going to cause the chest muscles to become short and overactive. And while that's happening, when your shoulders collapse forward while you're sitting, that's going to make the lower trapezius muscles and the serratus anterior muscle, it's going to cause it to become weak and it's going to cause it to become lengthened. And while that happens as well, the neck flexors, so the muscles in the front of the neck, that's going to cause them to become weak and lengthened as well. And if we take a look at lower cross syndrome here, basically when you're sitting for long periods of time and your hips are being flexed, that's going to cause that anterior pelvic tilt. And if you're not sure what anterior pelvic tilt is, I made a video a couple of days ago about it. You can take a look and watch that video. But with the lower cross syndrome, when you go into that anterior pelvic tilt, it's going to cause the psoas muscle, your hip flexor, to become shortened. And when that happens, the pelvis is going to tilt forward, and that's going to create tightness in the lower back extensor muscle, so your erector spinae. And while that's happening, those muscles are becoming shortened and tight. Your hamstrings and your glutes are going to become weak because you're staying in that flexed position in your hip for prolonged periods of time. And then your ab muscles are actually going to become lengthened as weak as well. So as you can see, if you're suffering from these two cross syndromes, you can have kind of a exaggerated curve in your lower back, and it's going to cause your butt to poke out a little bit more. And if you have that upper cross syndrome, that's going to cause that poor posture in the back, and that's going to cause that forward head posture of the neck. So all in all, like, this is not good. It's not good at all because that's going to put the spine out of alignment, and it's going to cause certain muscles to become tight and certain muscles to become weak. So you need to address this as soon as possible. So we're going to go into a little flow chart here of upper cross syndrome and lower cross syndrome. Let's fix this here. So basically, upper cross syndrome, this happens when you're sitting down all day. That's going to lead to poor sitting posture. And when that happens, your pecs, your chest muscles are going to become shortened and tight. And while that happens, your upper back is going to be lengthened and become weak as well. And when this happens, your mid back and your upper back it's not going to be able to move as well as it should. It's not going to be very mobile. And when that happens, the neck is going to be forced to do more motion. So you can imagine if, say, you're driving your car, and when you're going to shoulder check, if you don't have good rotation in your upper back, your neck is going to be forced to turn and work more. And when the neck has to work more, it's going to lead to more tightness and more pain in the neck. So something that you can do to decrease your neck pain is to actually mobilize your upper and mid back. And you could do that with foam rolling and with certain mobility drills, but we're not going to go over that in this video. Maybe we will in another video. So we're going to talk about lower cross syndrome here. So lower cross syndrome happens when you're sitting down all day, your hips are in that 90-degree bent position. And when that happens, your hip flexors, your psoas muscle is going to become shortened and tight. And that's going to pull your pelvis into the anterior pelvic tilt. So it's going to tilt the pelvis forward. And when that happens, it's going to actually compress the lower back, and it's going to close the gap between the vertebrae. Here, if I can actually figure this out here. Nope. If we can. So I'm really technologically challenged, unfortunately. For the sake of this video, I won't be able to show you what happens to the lower back, but I will do my best to describe it. So when you're in that anterior pelvic tilt, your pelvis is going to tip forward. And when that happens, it's going to cause a exaggerated lordotic curve in your lower back. So basically, if you see that someone's back is exaggerated and they're pushed forward, that's going to put a lot of pressure on the back part of the lower back, causing a lot of issues, decreased range of motion, and a lot of pain, say when you're trying to bend forward or when you stand up. And basically, yeah, when that happens, it's going to lead to a lot of lower back pain. It's also going to lead to some hip issues as well, some decreased ranges of motion. And again, it's something that you need to address, especially if you got a lot of lower back pain from sitting down at the office all day. But now that we got the upper cross syndrome and the lower cross syndrome out of the way, something that you can do, or something that you shouldn't do actually, is stretching. Stretching is only going to give you temporary relief. It's not going to be the correct solution. And the reason for that is because stretching is only going to give you, again, temporary relief. You're not actually going towards the root cause. You're not going towards what's causing the problem. The right thing to do actually is to see what's going on. You identify the problem. You see what muscle imbalances are happening. You see if there's any tightness in certain muscles, and if you feel that other muscles are, weaker, or you're not able to engage them as well. And then from there, you would want to create a plan or perform a plan or routine that effectively addresses the tightness in certain muscles and the weakness in some muscles. And from there, and only from there, would you be able to effectively treat any cross syndromes, whether it be upper or lower cross syndrome, or even both. So yeah, the thing that you need to do is stretching, strengthening, mobilization. That is going to be the key to fixing your cross syndrome, and honestly, just fixing any neck and lower back pain that you may be having. So you're probably wondering now, Elijah, what do I do? Cool, you talked about upper cross syndrome, lower cross syndrome, but what do I do? I got neck pain. I got back pain. What do I do? Well, let me explain to you. Let me make myself bigger here. There's two ways you can go about this. First way is you can try and do it yourself. There's Google, there's YouTube, you got the internet, basically. And there's more than enough information on the internet to help you fix and possibly correct any neck and back pain that you may be feeling. The issue with that is there's a lot of information. You don't know if some information is going to be right for you or if some information is going to be wrong for you. That is the problem about going at this alone. But again, it's up to you. But the second option that you can go with is join my free school community. In that community, we talk about upper cross syndrome, lower cross syndrome. We talk about anything and all neck and back pain relating to people who are sitting at the office all day. So that community is designed and created specifically for office workers who are sitting down all day. But the choice is yours. You can try and go at it alone, or you can join the free school community and learn from me and learn from other people who are currently suffering through neck and back pain, and also people who have lived through neck and back pain but have gone past it. So again, choice is yours. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you got a lot of value from it, but I will see you in the next one. I'll see you later.